Hey listeners, welcome to Straight Wife Trans Life. I'm Lisa. Immediately after a spouse or partner comes out as transgender, the early days, weeks, who am I kidding, months, are rough and lonely for those of us on the receiving end as we try to make sense of this curveball or twist added to our lives. Maybe we had a vague idea that something was off, or maybe we were caught completely off guard. Either way, it is a shock. Support groups and therapy offer perspective and comfort, but there is a lot of time spent alone with our thoughts processing all the questions and emotions regarding what marriage and life will look like moving forward. We go through a process of grief, and after working through those feelings, there is an opportunity for us to create a new version of happy. It is not going to happen overnight, but know that it is there on the other side of grief. Let's explore how to move forward toward a new happy. Within the first month of my spouse coming out as transgender, I discovered the interview podcast, Our Voices, produced by Our Path, a resource for those of us in this similar situation. So I would sit in my car while waiting for my son at school pickup, put my headphones in, and catch as much of an episode as I could. And it was season 4, episode 4, where I discovered an interview with someone relatable, who, like me, is still married to their transgender spouse and figuring it out together. The person being interviewed was Priscilla Tuft. She was a fitness model, and her husband was a WWE wrestler, and now a transgender woman named Gabby Tuft. They have a podcast together, and I'll include links in the episode description. But in this particular episode, only Priscilla was being interviewed, and there were several helpful takeaways and anecdotes, and one has stuck with me ever since. Priscilla said, "Know that your feelings are okay, but you don't have to camp there. Don't pitch a tent and live with those feelings for too long, but you have to feel it to heal it." And I love this because Priscilla's words were a reminder that it is okay to sit in your emotions. Feel the anger or sadness or whatever you're feeling. Let it envelop you, but don't stay there. Move forward. Or as I like to put it, don't become that angry person who divorced 10 or 15 years ago but still talks about their ex, right? Move forward. I feel like a lot of us understand this idea of not staying in a place of anger or resentment or you name it. But when you are in the middle of processing a gigantic life change, it helps to be reminded that there is a brighter tomorrow through the dark cloud of this unknown that you are sorting through. So, one way to work toward regaining a sense of peace and to head towards a new version of happiness is to take care of yourself. Don't forget about yourself in all of this. Go for a walk. Priscilla talked about her connection with nature. For me, I started by creating a playlist called Resilience, and I added a very eclectic mix of songs from the Foo Fighters to Valerie June to club music to hip hop to the blues. I listened to my mix to clear my head everywhere, while out in the yard, taking out the trash, cooking, in the car. I still add and remove songs to that playlist as my moods and moments shift. Keeps me going. So start small. Find something to keep yourself going. Maybe it's exercise or just catching a movie alone. Another way to move toward a happier you is to let go of some of the material reminders. I'm not talking family heirlooms, but maybe something that is now just a reminder of something that once was and now isn't quite the same. My good riddance item, I donated my wedding dress. It is the dress I'm wearing in the photo of the cover art for this podcast. I bought it off the rack at a bridal store, still surprised that I'd found someone I really wanted to marry, so I waited until the last minute to make a purchase. I carry that dress on my lap from the Oakland airport in California to Veracruz, Mexico. And along that trip, the dress sparked a lot of fun conversations with strangers. I had the best time at my wedding, and it doesn't change what a fabulous moment in my life that was. I have photos and memories. I simply no longer had a need for that dress to sit in the back of a closet. I could free that space for something new in the literal sense and figurative sense. It freed a part of me to be open to whatever was ahead. I thought I would feel sad when I dropped it off and the gentleman who took it disappeared, but I didn't. I felt lighter. The biggest step forward is understanding that you are transitioning too. Change is constant, yes? I couldn't watch from the sidelines as my spouse transitioned. I didn't want to be a spectator. It would have made my grief darker. I decided to transition in my own way, and that meant looking inward, which is good to do from time to time anyway. I asked myself, what do I want to do? How do I want the future to look? What have I been putting on hold? What would I love to accomplish? What friends had I not connected with in a long time? Then I set realistic goals. I started taking classes in a subject that always interested me, but I never made time for. Classes that allow me to explore a new career for the future, with or without my spouse. I make time for girls' night out. I try new hairstyles, new restaurants, and make time to read more books. Your emotions will transition. These feelings of grief will morph into superpowers that propel you forward. Your spouse or partner is not dead, and neither are you. Don't stay bitter or angry or resentful. Find your new happy by looking inward at how you see your future after this. Start with finding connection to something that keeps your mind busy right now. Music, a class, joining an adult softball league, catching a matinee, spending time at the library with a good book, screaming into a pillow. However you find your new happy, I hope that you can remain friendly with your spouse or partner. It isn't easy, but it doesn't have to be that hard. Next episode, I'm going to talk about how we told our son that his dad is transgender. Until then, I hope you find a piece of happy and keep moving forward.